Hi, my name is Dr. Brett Belchitz, and I'm one of the doctors on Maple. As a practicing emergency room physician, one of the most common questions I get from parents is how to effectively manage fever in their child or infant when they're sick. And so this is a very confusing topic for a lot of parents because there's a number of medications out there and there's no clear guidelines about when to use which medication and how much to give. So I have a couple quick guidelines that will make it very helpful for any parent out there. First of all, the first medication that I recommend is something called acetaminophen. And for those of you that don't know acetaminophen, it's more commonly known by the brand name Tylenol. And acetaminophen is a very safe, time-tested medication in children that is very easy to give when your child is running a fever. So my recommendation is that when your child is sick with a fever, don't wait for that fever to get very high and out of control. Just give the acetaminophen regularly every 4 hours. Now, a lot of the dosings on acetaminophen bottles tend to be a little bit low to be effective, and that's because children come in all shapes and sizes, and the makers of these drugs tend to be very conservative. So the best way to get optimal dosing is to actually dose based on your child's weight. So measure your child's weight in kilograms, and the proper dosing of acetaminophen is 15 milligrams per kilogram every 4 hours, and there's no harm in using it for several days in a row when your child is sick. Now, if you're not getting adequate fever control with acetaminophen alone, the good news is you can also add on ibuprofen, which is another safe medication in children. And ibuprofen is also more commonly known by brand names such as Advil or Motrin. And so ibuprofen, just like with the acetaminophen, it's something that you can give regularly. You don't have to wait for the fever to get high and out of control. And so the dosing of ibuprofen tends to be a little bit low on the bottles too, so you want to go by weight here as well. And the appropriate dosing of ibuprofen is 10 milligrams per kilogram every 6 hours, and you can take it at the same time as acetaminophen. The good news is that these two medications don't interact because they're metabolized by different organs in our bodies. So you should be able to get very effective fever control in your child by giving them both Tylenol or acetaminophen or ibuprofen or Advil at the same time. Now, if you find that you're not getting enough fever control with these two medications combined, that's the time when it's definitely time to take your child into a doctor because your child may be suffering from a more severe cause of fever that requires more urgent medical attention. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful.